Down but not out. Davy Moyes is back in football and he's going to need a big old ladder if he wants Everton to climb to the top. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Davy Moyes is the brand new Everton manager. He said that he wasn't going to return to management to be in a relegation threatened side, and now he turns up at Everton. So maybe Davy Moyes is a liar, or maybe, just maybe, Davy Moyes believes that he has got what it takes to turn Everton around. You could certainly argue that Everton, pretty much their downfall almost began when Davy Moyes left the club to go to Manchester United. I know they had a couple of decent years after that. I think when Benitez came in terms of league positioning, they weren't horrible, but for like 6-7 years now, 8 years, Everton have been bottom half of the table without doubt, and they've always been shite, but not quite shite enough to get relegated. And you do feel like sooner or later their luck was going to run out, and one year, somebody would take them down. They've came close, but they haven't went down yet, and I don't think they're going to go down now, because I rate Davy Moyes. I think he'll come in. I think he'll do a good job in his second stint as the manager. Now, can he improve on his first stint? That's going to be highly unlikely, just due to the fact that there's so many better teams now in the league. Back when he was Everton manager, he could get them into the top six. He had that one year where he finished fourth. It was easier. There was just less teams with money. You look at it now, though, you've got the top six that's established, and then you've got teams like Aston Villa, who else you got? Fucking all the other teams whose name I can't remember. Brighton. You've got teams that you just associate with that top half of the table. So it's going to be hard for Davy Moyes to get Everton back into the top half of the table. Never mind push on and try and compete for the European spots or top six or equal his best ever finishing position of fourth. But he did come out and say it's great to be back. He is 61 years old now, and he has signed a 2.5-year contract at Goodison after Sean Dyche got sacked on Thursday. That will take him up to the end of the 2027-2028 season. So that's enough time there for Davy Moyes to come in and do a job. That will take him up to either 63 or probably be almost 64 by the time that contract comes to an end, depending on his birthday. So Everton are currently 16th in the Premiership, 1 point clear of the relegation zone, and they've only won 3 times in 19 games this season. So, that is disgraceful for Everton, and that is form that can take you down. So I can understand why they got rid of Sean Dyche. I think when they brought in Sean Dyche, nobody was expecting Everton to go on to great things. Nobody was expecting this flamboyant style of football or, trying to qualify for Europe. But I think what people expected with Sean Dyche was an Everton team that would have stability, that would be hard to beat, and at least a team that could finish mid-table year in, year out, and just be a difficult team to break down, a difficult team to score goals against. And I mean, it's not really happened. It's been more of the same old, and Everton, in terms of an attacking standpoint, they've been toothless, man. They offer nothing. They're one of the worst teams, I think, to watch in the Premier League under Sean Dyche. And for me, I'm just not convinced the guy should have got the Everton job. Burnley's one thing. Giving this guy the Everton job, they're still a big club, and I think they can do a lot better than Sean Dyche, and I think Davy Moyes is certainly better than Sean Dyche. So Moyes also went on to say, quote, "I enjoyed 11 wonderful and successful years at Everton and didn't hesitate when I was offered the opportunity to rejoin this club. Now we need Goodison and all Evertonians to play their part in getting behind the players in this important season so we can move into our fabulous new stadium as a Premier League team." End of quote. And that's another important thing. Everton are moving stadium, and they don't want to be going there as a championship club. They're too good, they're too big for that. And I think they'll be fine now with Davy Moyes, and I do expect him to keep them up this season. I think it'd be ridiculous to expect them to do anything more than that. Could he maybe finish around, the top half of the bottom half? I mean, maybe. He could maybe get like a 14th place finish, but for me, if he just comes in, steadies the ship, keeps them up, and then builds on next year, I think that will be a good job for Davy Moyes. I mean, you look at his career, he did very well at Preston, a 47.86 win percentage, then went to Everton, and he had a really good record there as well, a 42.08 win percent record. He did have them qualifying for the Champions League, albeit they got knocked out in the qualifying rounds, but that's because they were basically robbed when Liverpool won it, and it put Everton into the qualifying rounds, and they got a tougher team than they would have got had Liverpool not been given a backdoor entry. So I feel bad for him in that regards. Man United, he went there, and you know what? He didn't have the money to spend that his later managers did. So it looked bad at the beginning. Initially, it did look like he done a bad job, but with hindsight, when you look at the managers that came in after Moyes and the money that they spent, your Van Gaals, your Mourinho's, your Ten Hag's, your Solskjaer's, and you look at the money that those guys had at United, and yeah, I mean, some of them had better seasons. Solskjaer and Mourinho did finish second, but they also finished low down in seasons. Van Gaal also finished... I mean, Van Gaal done nothing as United manager. He had that... First season he finished fourth, which he was extremely lucky. Done nothing after that, and now you look at what they're doing now. So, yeah, when you think of it, it really wasn't that bad. David Moyes' run, honestly, it's looked down upon as if it was like some sort of disaster, but, you know, he was just unfortunately the one that took over from Ferguson, and United were always going to struggle. Had he come in after, maybe if it was Van Gaal that took over first, and had Moyes come in after Van Gaal and Moyes had the money, who knows, maybe Moyes could have done a better job. But let's not forget, he also had two stints at West Ham. In that second stint, he had a 44% win record, actually closer to 45%, and he did win a European trophy as well, which is incredible. So, yeah, look, maybe towards the end of his West Ham run, it got a little bit stale. Maybe West Ham fans were greedy. They wanted to have unrealistic... I wouldn't even say unrealistic, because I don't think having hopes of top six is unrealistic, but, you know, Moyes has done a good enough job, in my opinion, not to get sacked. They decided to let him go. I mean, that's their loss. I think West Ham are worse now than they were when Moyes was there. And look, I think we will see Everton improving. So, look, David Moyes is a good manager. He's someone that I would always consider for the Scotland national job, and who knows, maybe when he's done with Everton for a second time, we could see him rocking up at Hampden Park, and he could be maybe the man to replace Steve Clarke one day. But for now, he's back in blue. It's not Scotland blue, but it is Everton, and I hope he does well. Anyway, guys, let me know down below. Do you think this is a good appointment? I do. I think Everton will improve with David Moyes, and I'm actually going to predict next season Everton finish top half of the table. That's my prediction. Next year, Everton will be a top 10 team. Let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.